right. I think I'm live. Yeah, I'm live. What's going on, everyone? This is Zen here from ZenMultiverse, and I hope you're having a great day. And no, this is not a pre-recording. We are live. All right. Or wait, you might watch this a little bit later and be like, well, but you're not live anymore. This is Zen. So yeah, my bad. All right, but I'm live right now at the time of this recording in this moment right now. All right, team. So we're gonna look at some comic books. My top 13 reads for this weekend or beyond this weekend, something like that. You know what I mean? Um, but hope everyone's having a good day and had a good week so far, right? Got some really interesting reads and some other cool stuff. So yeah, let's get started with some of them. First book on the list is Jurassic League, which is my thumbnail that I did. Uh, so we see this Batman-esque character biting the hell out of this Superman-esque Jurassic-looking character. So I primarily got Jurassic League #1 and also 2. This is #2, by the way. I got #1 and 2 primarily because of the artwork. The artwork was just pretty much phenomenal, so I wanted to get the artwork. But I started to read it, and this is a what if, basically, right? It's what if the Justice League had Jurassic-based origins, right? And they lived in the Jurassic period, and they're not humanoids, but instead they're dinosaurs, right? So it's pretty cool, interesting, nice little what if story. This is only two. This is out of 6 books, right? So you know, mini stories, and I love the mini stories, right? I've been finding myself reading a lot of mini stories lately, not really getting into the long haul stories, just like quick snippets and things of that nature. So yeah, Jurassic League. All right, next book on my list, and let me know if you want to see some panels too, because I'm gonna do semi reviews for the ones that I read. Next 2 books, right, is The Closet. Okay. Now you won't see any X-Men books and things like that this week. I've been trying to read other books that tickle my fancy, and this one happens to be one of them. So this this is about a little boy, as you can see on the cover, and it's also about a dad. And the dad is just going through his daily struggles, things of that nature, trying to be a good parent, but also trying to be a good husband as well. And he has this friend that really encourages him to just do the right thing. But on the other side of this, which is the main plot of the story, we have this little boy. And this little boy just goes to sleep like when we were little, and for some of you who might be watching, and he starts to see manifestations by his closet area, and he's afraid to go to sleep. So he's telling his dad like, "Hey, I'm scared," but like any other parent, he basically says it's all right. There's nothing there. Don't worry about it. Lo and behold, something is there, right? There's a gateway that opens up through the closet, and what comes out is this horrific type of monster, and it's pretty cool because the first time you see it in the comic book, you're like, whoa, if you were to see that in real life, that's definitely going to be scary. And for a child, and some of us remember this when we're basically making up silhouettes in our head when we're laying down. Yeah, this is going to be one of those books that give you a reminiscent feeling, right? And even might make you go to bed and look around the place a little bit. So I read #1 and 2. This is only a 3-part book, and I love it, right? Now, if there's more into the lore at a later time, then that would be cool. But I'm looking forward to #3, and #3 will be the last in the series of the closet. But I hope to see something more, right? But I'm pretty sure that #3 is gonna bring the story together in a really great way. So far, I'm enjoying it, and I would definitely give it a 9 out of 10 if I had to give it a numerical value to review, so that you could be excited to read it. The next book on the list, and it's a Marvel book, is Black Panther #7. And I've been reading this book primarily because of the storyline, the artwork, but also the introduction of a new Wakandan hero, which comes in the form of Tozin Odoye. Now, I spoke about this character on my channel, where this character has in his tribe, they have vibranium tattooed and also embedded into them, right? And for Tozen Aduye, it does provide him with a myriad of different abilities such as super speed, um, high levels of strength, and also absorption and absorption input, and also energy output too, right? So pretty cool. And this cover looks just absolutely amazing. Look at this cover. All right, that's it. All right, the next book on my list, and I'm going to tell you my top read in a little bit. I haven't read this one though, so I can't review this one, so I'm not too sure how this is going to be. But this is by, I believe, Vault Comics. I don't believe I bought any Vault Comics before, but the name of this book is called Mindset. Um, yeah, this kind of looks like a Black Mirror-esque book. And if you're not familiar with Black Mirror is a show kind of like the Twilight Zone on Netflix, but it has to do with all of technology. So this is Mindset. Haven't read it yet. Not too sure what to think about it, but I'm gonna check it out and see. All right, next book on my list is Avengers Forever. Now on my TikTok and also, well, now on Instagram, I've been doing multiple parts on this book. This is number 7 actually, and the story is just really phenomenal. And we get a chance to um, see a lot of different characters. The one you fear, Dad. Who is me? I'm Dad. Or is it the character on the front, Captain America? Is that who you mean? So we have Avengers Forever. Pretty cool. Really interesting, right? Here we go. Um, but the one thing that I love, just going back to the book a little bit, is because we get to see a lot of different versions of these characters, right, throughout the multiverse, and yeah, it kind of brings it all together in a very, I would say, in a unique way for storytelling. Okay, next book on the list, and this is What If Miles Morales, number 5. Now, in the previous iterations of these books from 1 to 4, um, we saw a lot of different characters, right? And we saw what if Miles Morales became the Hulk? What if Miles Morales became Captain America? What if Miles Morales became Thor and also Wolverine? So this is kind of the culmination of this book together. So yeah. All right. Fair had a question. My thoughts on Demon Slayer. So Demon Slayer, for you guys who are watching at a later time, is an anime and also a manga. I've only read the anime. I only watched the anime, and I just started watching Demon Slayer again. So I just finished off season one more time, but I didn't start the whole entirety of the season. I just started off from like the lagging episodes that I kind of forgot a couple of things, right? So I just finished season 1. I'm hopping on to season 2, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. The comedic aspect of it is really good and intricate, but it's a serious show, right? I only mentioned the comedic part because there is a little bit of slice of life in there, right? I just finished off with Tanjiro and the rest of them like healing up, right? Going through their rehabilitation healing in season 1. So it's really good and interesting. Loving it. Can't wait to get into season 2 and then to get into the movie that I didn't watch. Um, so overall, Demon Slayer is just a really great anime. I'm gonna actually bring up a picture while we're here because this is a chill stream, and then we'll get into the rest of the comic books. A Just a quick snippet of Demon Slayer. I'll probably put up a Demon Slayer GIF so that you guys could just see. For those of you who are like, "What's Demon Slayer?" Because I want to encourage everyone to get into something, something brand new, fresh, which is what I'm trying to do with a lot of these comic books, right? Um, so yeah, I've been trying to read a lot of comic books that I'm not used to reading on a normal basis. So that's been pretty cool, right? A. But I hope everyone is having a really great weekend um, overall, and or whatever day it is or time that you're watching this video, right? Within the multiverse. So here's a quick like gift, right, of a character named Tanjiro. which is pretty cool. It's a really cool character, down to earth, serious, knows his goals, knows what he has to do, right? All right, let's bring that out. All right, so before we get into the comic books, the rest of the comic books, the one you fear said, who would win in the fight, Tanjiro or Deku? Deku's another character from anime slash manga, depending on how your introduction is to it. For me, my first introduction to Deku was through the anime itself, not the manga of My Hero Academia, and he has a ability or a quirk called All for One or One for All. I forgot which one is the bad one. All for One or One for All. I don't know. So yeah, who do I think would win in the battle? Oh man, it's a really great question. It's a little bit hard for me to like quantify their abilities just because of the roles the shows play and how they're you know and how they're just like displayed, right? So wow, this is a really hard one. I'm not too sure if I could really if I could pick one, right? But let's look at both of them kind of side by side, right? I'm gonna put up a quick picture of Deku, right? This is Deku right here, right? And his quirk that I probably misnamed. And then we have Tanjiro. These are our two characters right here that Fair had a question about. So if I had to pick one, the thing about it is when I'm watching Demon Slayer, I'm not even too sure if the effects are actually powers or they're just representation of their style, right? Meaning that if you were really in front of those characters, would you see flames and waters, or they're just depicted in an art form to showcase the stylistic discipline that they utilize, right? One for all is Deku's. Okay, not all for one. All for one is everyone's all for one person, which is the bad version. Got it. But if I had to pick, and Deku's, it's powerful, right? He can amplify his abilities through his one for all. It's a hard one. It's a hard one, and I don't really have enough like feats. I have mental feats, right? That I from watching from the show. Um, I don't know. I don't know. This is really hard. So I'm probably gonna go with I'm probably gonna go with Tanjiro. Tanjiro. The reason why I'm going for Tanjiro is primarily just because of not even power, just in terms of like style, finesse, martial discipline. So I'm looking at battle IQ. Now Deku has it. So again, this is me picking right now is just like a momentary pick, just because I'm looking at someone chopping off someone's head real quick. Even though I know that Deku could probably resist a blade, but yeah, I can't really pick. What do you think? What do you guys think in the comment section a little bit later on? And Fear, what do you think? Oh, you think that it's better? Demon Slayer is better? Cool. I hear you. I hear you. All right, let's get into the next book. The next book, and I haven't read it yet, and this is kind of a back issue that I didn't get for a while. This is Nubia and the Amazons. Okay, number one. So I'm looking forward to reading this, seeing how it is. Hopefully, it's a really good book overall, right? So yeah. All right, let's get into the next one. Next one is Spider-Man 2099 Exodus, and it also has appearance. This is number three, and it has the appearance of a beautiful team right here, and this is the Avengers 2099. So let's bring it a little bit closer so that you can see some of the characters. Oh, my camera's focusing really good right here. Cool. All right, awesome. Some of the characters look pretty amazing. 2099 Spider-Man looks really great to me. Let me show you the other side. I guess these are the bad guys. All right, cool. 2099 characters always intrigue me like quite a bit. The next book on the list is Prodigy number one, the Icarus Society. So Prodigy is about a character who's a genius, right? And he solves worldwide problems. And things of that nature. So this book is actually a sequel to the Prodigy. I have number one, and I also have a CGC graded number one of a 9.8. Not to gloat, but I just have it. I primarily got that graded because I believe the show was going to be optioned, right? So yeah, this one is the Icarus Society. So the Icarus Society, as I know from the premise, is that it is another think tank of geniuses. So, but they're gonna go against our main character, right? So it's gonna be one genius versus many geniuses. So I'm interested. I'm interested in a good read and interested in a book that's gonna make me think, right? Kind of like a Death Note manga style, right? One step ahead of each other, trying to like kind of like a chess match with people. All right, next book on the list is Do a Power Bomb, right? So Power Bomb number one just has some intricate, all right, and interesting artwork, right? And so I wanted to get it because I just wanted a story that is beyond the normal stories that I've been reading when it comes to like X-Men and Avengers and things of that nature. So yeah, I wanted to dabble in some of the other comic book companies as well, like Image Comic Books, and Image Comic Books has been doing some really great things, and a lot of their books, and one of them I'm going to talk about later, which is my top read for the week, is going to be optioned for a big for a show on Amazon Prime. And Amazon Prime has been producing some really good books overall. I said books. Uh, what I meant to say was shows and also movies. Some of their originals are just really amazing. All right, next book, and this one threw me for a loop because now I'm fully invested into this one. So the next one is from the creators of Ultraman comes Redman. Now, when I first looked at this book, I was like, I got this cover. There was a couple of covers, but I got this one. I wanted this one. This one stood out to me the most. And when I got it, I'm going to show you some of the artwork. I thought it was a parody book. Like, I thought it was a joke because the first cover just looked like it was a guy in this kind of suit that looked kind of like Ultraman, but it seemed like a joke. So I was like, I'm not too sure if I'm going to get it. But lo and behold, I got it, and I only opened up like a couple of pages, right? So I'm going to open up another random page, because I still haven't read it yet. But it doesn't seem like there's much dialogue. Here we go. Look at this artwork. Ready, fight. I should be a voice actor. Now, I'm probably going to read this right after the stream. And I'm going to open up another page, another random. I'm just going to go to the next page. There isn't a lot of dialogue. There's just nothing but action. But what I did do is I turned to the like couple of last pages, and it seemed like, and I know this is going to be a spoiler, it seemed like the book is us turning the pages through a fight of a show. And then when I got to the last couple of pages, because I have to really go through all the pages, it seems like there's a person watching this show. So it gets a little bit meta. And again, I still don't have a firm understanding because I haven't read the book, but from my understanding, it doesn't seem like there's much to actually read, but it's more about the action scenes that we're going through, right? But I'm digging it. I'm digging it because now I want to find out: are we is this comic book about a person who's watching a show? And if so, what does that lead into, right? Eventually. So this is episode one. So I feel like every book is going to be nothing but artwork. And if that's the case, that's cool too. But I did see dialogue. Why can't I find that page? Now I feel like the page has like left. Yeah, here we go. So this is just the last page. So I'm going to briefly show it. I haven't read any of, but you can see a TV, and then you see this guy who's kind of like, he has these long nails, and he's turning what looks like he's turning it off. So I just want to see what's happening in this, right? But the artwork is phenomenal. I'm really glad that I got this, and I went out of my way to get a book that isn't the norm. I'm actually got to check to see if number two came out. If number two came out, I'm going to my LCS today, or my secondary LCS. One of them has to have it. Um, or maybe this is the first one. Let me check it out. Now I gotta look. Now I definitely have to look to see if number. I'm a little. It's funny how one page could like make you get so immersed, right? So this is Redman, and then I'll show you some of the other cover pictures as well. Redman comic book. I have to put in comic book because if I don't, like other stuff will pop up. Yeah, okay. So let me show you all the cover that I saw first, and I was like, oh, this is probably gonna be a joke character of Ultraman because I've never read Ultraman books. I've only seen some of the shows from back in the day. Like when I say back in the day, when I was like really little in the early '90s. So I thought about getting it to just see what a comic book might be like, see some of the lore that I might be missing, and then it's a new character. So here's the cover, right? I know you guys can see it on the screen now. Here's the cover that I was like, oh, this is kind of like a jokey character, right? Um, and that's about it. But then, and some of the covers that I'm looking at right now look absolutely phenomenal. Uh, it does look like an Ultraman type book, right? But instead, it's Redman. So yeah, let me see. But why it really came. Redman number 2. Okay. Because I don't even know if this is a. So this is 2 out of 5. Okay. So this is I feel like a lot of the books I've been reading have been just like short runs. Okay. Let me see. Release date. Let's check it out. Uh, okay. Why is other things coming up? It's like Redman. Like I'm typing in Redman and then like Method Man and stuff comes out, right? All right. Number 2 comes out. It's every 2 weeks. All right. So number 2 is called episode 2 is Icarus. This one comes out uh the 7th, July 27th. So in about a good amount of time. So that's 2 weeks from now. Ah, wow, that's a long time from now. All right, so I better like take my time with this. That's about it, right? But anyway, that's Redman. All right, let me take it off the screen. And let's get into my top and 13th book, but also my number 1 read for the week, which comes in the form of 8 Billion Genies, number 2. I believe did number 3 come out? I'm not too sure. I think it came out. Maybe not. All right. At least at the time of this recording. So we have 8 Billion Genies, number 2. And this story has a very simple concept. What it is about is imagine that there's about 8 billion people on the planet, and everyone on the planet gets a genie, which will grant you your wish, right? And we start off the story with a subsect within a town in a bar, and everyone gets their genie. Now, it sounds very simple, and it sounds like it could end up being chaotic, which it does. But one of the interesting concepts, and we could take it as a human study, right, on like decisions that humans will make, is wishes can affect other wishes and also people as well, right? And one of the first things, at least in number 1, just to give you a little bit of a spoiler, is that I think it's the bartender or someone in the bar says, I wish that no other wishes outside of the bar will affect anyone in here within the bar, right? Is that the wish word for word? Not so much. And someone correct me in the comment section a little bit later. But yeah, that's kind of the grasp of it. And we're just going through the story. I don't want to say too much. If you guys are willing, I'll do a review on my TikTok. I did a review earlier today at the time of this recording. So yeah, this is by Charles Soule and Ryan Brown, who's doing the art. Charles Soule is he's doing the writing, right? Really cool concept. And I mentioned a little bit earlier that one of the Image comic books got optioned for a show, and this is it. So we will see. This is why there's a big buzz within the comic book community when it comes to getting this book based on um, how much money it could possibly make, or just getting it into your collection. Amazon Prime is going to have a show, um, 8 billion Genies, which is going to be pretty cool and interesting, right? So um, I can't wait. And all of the Genies look like this, right? So yeah, what I want to do at least is I want to go back and read number one and then go and read number two again. Because I read number one a while ago. And even though I just want to understand if we understood why the Genies came. And I also want to know how many wishes. Is it unlimited wishes? I believe it is unlimited wishes. Or maybe not. Let me check it out right now. See, I can't wait. 8 billion Genies. Really great concept. I'm so glad. I'm gonna go to my comic book store again today, my secondary LCS, right, which is the one that's a little bit closer to me, to get more books that I haven't been getting. 8 billion Genies. I'm just gonna type in how many wishes. How many wishes do they have? Your wish is granted. Okay. I'm just reading a quick synopsis, but while I'm doing that, I don't want you guys to just look at my forehead while I'm like reading something. I'm gonna show you a quick panel preview so that you all could see of 8 billion Genies, so that you all could see, right? Here's a quick panel, and they look simple, right? The Genies look pretty simple. Not your stereotypical genies that you might see in like Aladdin and other shows that come out of a lamp, right? So, I just wanted to see how many wishes. Dear reader, 8 billion Genies. What are you doing here? I told. Uh, mm, It'll be interesting if the book. I'm just kind of reading a synopsis interview. Was that my one wish? Hey. Okay. I'm not too sure. See, because the first book shows you like the first 8 seconds of what happens when everyone gets a wish. Okay, Mark, you got one wish, and let's not make it sad and creepy. Is it really only one wish? I felt like they had more wishes, but that makes sense, right? So everyone has about one wish, and they show you like the first 8 seconds of 8 minutes rather of what's happening. Andy, what's going on, bro? Hope you're doing well. We are just going over my top 13 picks, and my top pick is on the screen right now, but I'm going to go over the books again, and it comes in the form of 8 billion Genies. So I got some really interesting reads. Some of them go out of the normal DC and Marvel type of books, and there are a couple of DC and Marvel books here as well. All right, let me take this off. Um, so my top read, 8 billion Genies number 2. Gonna get number 1. I mean, not gonna get number 1. I already have number 1. But I'm gonna reread it. Number 1. Next one, I'm really interested to know how this goes now, is Red Man, which is from the creators of Ultraman. The reason why I'm really digging this one, number 1, the artwork looks absolutely amazing. I just showed you all a quick couple of panels, but also because the story seems to be very meta, where something is happening, but we're watching it through the eyes of a perspective, another person's perspective, and the other person's perspective seems to be like this monster-esque character. Um, Let me see. And he said, I'm doing great. Met some of my 3D heroes and got, okay, with them on Discord and just ended up chatting about different stuff last night. Woke up today feeling refreshed and good. Oh, man, that's so amazing. Sounds like you had a great night. That's the way. I like that. That makes me feel good. Loving it, bro. Loving it. Next book on the list is The Power Bomb, which is a wrestling type of comic book. This is by Image Comic Books as well. So I got 2 Image comic books, but I have more than 2. The next one is Prodigy, the Icarus Society. Now, like I mentioned earlier in the stream, that the Icarus Prodigy is about a Prodigy, the prequel to this, is about a character who's just phenomenally smart. He is a genius, and he's a think tank that solves worldwide problems and just problems in general, right? That only his mindset can solve. But in this book, it's about the Icarus Society, and the Icarus Society seems to be a group of geniuses, right? And it's basically a lot of geniuses versus our main character, which is the protagonist. Um, a lot of a lot of geniuses versus one genius, right? So it's cool. I like to see that chess match. Next book is Spider-Man 2099 Exodus, and we get to see the 2099 Avengers. Next one, this is just a back issue that I hadn't got received or bought, which is Nubia the Amazons #1, and the artwork looks amazing, and she looks amazing. Next one is What If Miles Morales. Now I started reading #1. What if he became Captain America? Wasn't really feeling it, but still was open to read the next one, and then open to read the next one, and open to read the next one. Overall, I think out of all these stories, the one I enjoyed the most, uh, maybe would be the Captain America, even though I thought that would be my least favorite one. Um, there was a lot of controversy about him becoming Thor. There's a lot of because they said there's a lot of racial stereotypes in it. It was just a read. I just took it as a read. So this is the culmination. So I'm just gonna culminate, right? Culminate everything. Uh, Let me go back into chat. Have you checked out the Extreme Carnage series? They mainly go over the different segments like Scream, Phase, Riot, and them. It's really darn good. Okay, no, I haven't read it. I read #1, and then I think there's subtitles, right? If I'm not mistaken. So there's one with Scream. She's a really interesting character. Um, yeah, but that was about a couple of months ago, so I'm not too sure. Extreme Carnage. Let me bring up a quick picture. I just want to make sure that I'm imagining the right story because I believe it's a recent title, right? Extreme Carnage. Because I think maybe I'm thinking of Extreme Carnage Alpha. #1. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, all right. We're on the same boat. But let me just put up a quick picture, uh, so that we're all looking at it together. Yeah, it was Omega that I was reading. Okay, why are these pictures looking kind of janky? Is it because I'm streaming? All right, let me see. Put up this quick picture. Boom. Okay, here we go. This is kind of pixelated because when I saved it, it was pixelated. Hadn't quite formatted yet. So yeah, this is it though. Yeah, it's pretty cool overall. All right, here's a sweeter looking picture, and then I'm gonna bring up two pictures. One of different cover work so that we could look at it because this one is jank. It's like fully jank. I'm not even too sure why I just put up that picture. It looks like ultra pixelated. All right, here we go. Here's another one. It's cut off, but you could kind of get the gist of it. Extreme Carnage, right? And then let's look at one more. This one is a cover that has Riot, which is looking pretty amazing. It's pretty dope right here. Riot is like the super strong, like kind of Venom-esque version. But yeah, pretty cool. All right, finishing up. Avengers Forever was another one, right? Boom. And I know it has a lot of first appearances. We even have a first appearance of this Weapon X type of character. I'm not too sure if they label him as Weapon X, but think about Captain America, but he has Wolverine's claws. Next book, and this one is pretty thick. This is Mindset, and this is by Vault Comics. I don't believe that I read a Vault books, comic book before, but I'm willing to try and to see how it is. This, like I mentioned earlier in the stream today, it looks very like Black Mirror-esque, at least the cover, right? Where society is too immersed into technology, and there's a lot of societal plots that go into it. So I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna read it. It's gonna be part of my weekend read. I might read it today, or maybe not, or I might just like read everything today, to be honest. And then we have Black Panther, number 7. Tosin Aduye is why I continue to read these books. But the artwork is absolutely amazing, and the storyline is not is not bad either. Um, yeah, it's like a 7 out of 10 in terms of storytelling, but it's one of those books where yes, it's a 7 out of 10 right now, but it's growing into a possible like 9 over time, right? Yeah, Jurassic League. Yeah, that's one of the ones that I mentioned earlier. I have Jurassic League number 2, right? And the artwork is just really phenomenal. Let me just kind of showcase some of the art. I'm gonna open up this bad boy because I'm gonna read it later. Read number 1, and it's a what if story to me, right? It's like, what if the Justice League were not humanoids and they had these different stories based on their um their dinosaur slash Jurassic physiology, right? And upbringing. So here we go. Nice little art, you know what I mean? Pretty cool. All right, bring this back in. And the reason why I actually have like 2 top reads. The first one is definitely 8 billion, 8 billion genies. But the other one is definitely the closet. But I already read the closet, so that's why I didn't put it on. I got it and read it because I just had to. It's just so good. And there's only one more book left. There's only 3 books in this series. So if you're into like horror and you remember the times as a kid when you used to look at when you used to look in the dark and look at your closet and wonder if something is going to come out, and as a kid you would manifest the shadows into something. Yeah, this is that book. It's spooky, it's creepy. um yeah, yeah, it's pretty good. And number 3 is the last book. I can't believe it's the last book. I hope it's kind of like it's bittersweet, right? It's bittersweet because you you want it to continue, but you also know that sometimes a good story just needs to end just like that, right? And that's how I kind of feel about this. Is like if this book just ends, I still would be satisfied and I would be all right with it, right? And they have a lot of variant covers for this too. Um, So like number 1, I definitely want to go back and get this variant cover. Oh man, some of these covers look amazing. I know some of you guys are like, Zen, so are you gonna show us, or are you just gonna keep us out of the loop, right? Um, Let me see. I'm just thinking of a really great cover to show you guys. Just so many covers. Wow, absolutely phenomenal. And one of the things that I can say is that okay, that's why it's taken a while to show you guys. All right. I was looking for JPEG versions. That's why some of them were like WEPD, which is coming up directly as website type things. So here's a cover, right, which kind of depicts the severity of what this child is going through, right? Uh, that's it. Now, some of you might be like, "How's the closet upside down?" Now, apparently, this character, and I learned this in number 2. Spoiler alert: that this character, this demon, this whatever, this alien, whatever it might be, is opening up these interdimensional based um, doorways to get this child. I think there's just so much that needs to be explained in number 3, but I'm so down with it. So yeah, it's if I had to put my top books in order, it would be The Closet, And I definitely want to do a review on The Closet. I want to get into more horror-esque books. I'm putting my books in order from top. Top one, right? This is number one. I know I kind of retcon this. I'm retconning right now, and I said 8 billion. But if I had to put in order for like books you definitely need to read, just for like intricate and interesting stories that are, you know, not the norm, definitely go out The Closet. Love it. I feel like I'm holding up variants now. Definitely get The Closet. My number two pick is gonna be 8 Billion Genies. Number two. And then my last one is Red Man, where there's not a lot of reading in this book, right? This is like you're watching a TV show, you're watching a fight, and then the last page apparently gives you a little bit more that lets you know that this book is going a little bit meta. So those are my top picks for the week. And yeah, or at least for today, right? Because I'm gonna probably go back out to my LCS and get some more books because I am so interested in reading other stories that are not the normal DC and Marvel and Image comic books. Not bad. Two Image comic books are my top twos, and this one is Subaraya Subaraya Comics. Just gonna put it right here because I feel like I'm butchering the name. All right, I'm out of here, team. With that being said, I hope everyone is having a great day. This is Zen from ZenMultiverse saying peace, love, and prosperity. If you're enjoying the content, you already know what to do. Drop a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you all later for the next one.